knight came out to the pavilion and said, Fair knight, why smoke ye down my shield, for I will joust with you? Said Griflet, It is better you do not, said the knight, for ye are but young, and I have late made knight, and your knight is nothing to mine. As for that, said Griflet, I will joust with you, that is me loath, said the knight, but sith I must needs, I will address me thereto. Of whence be ye, said the knight, Sir, I am of Arthur's court. So the two knights ran together, and Griflet's spear all shivered, and therewithal he smote Griflet through the shield and a left side, and the break the spear that the thrusting struck in his body, that the horse and knight fell down. Chapter 23. Now 12 knights came from Rome, and asked to Rog for this land of Arthur, and how Arthur fought with a knight. When the knight saw him lie so on the ground, he alighted and was passing heavy, for he weened and he had slain him, and then he unlaced his helm, and gat him wind, and so with the truncheon he sent him on his horse, and so he betook him to God, and said he had a mighty heart, and if he might live, he would prove a passing good knight. And so Sir Griflet rode to the court, where a great gall was made for him, but through good leeches he was healed and saved. Right so came into the court 12 knights, and were aged men, and they came from the Emperor of Rome, and they asked of Arthur Rog for this realm. Other else the emperor would destroy him and his land. Well, said King Arthur, ye are messengers, therefore ye may say what ye will. Other else should die therefore. But this is my answer, I owe the emperor no Rog, nor none will I hold him. But on a fair field I shall give him my Rog. That shall be with a sharp spear, or else with a sharp sword. And that shall not be long by my father's soul, Uther Pendragon. And therewith the messengers departed passingly wroth, and King Arthur as wroth for his evils, and came they then. For the king was passingly wroth, and for the hurt of Sir Griflet. And so he commanded a privy man of his chamber that it be his best horse and armor, with all that longeth unto his person, be without the city or tomorrow day. Right or tomorrow day he met with his man and his horse, so he mounted up and dressed his shield, and he took his spear and bade his chamberlain tarry there till he came again. And so Arthur trode a soft pace till it was day, and then was the wear of 3 churls chasing Merlin, and would have slain him. Then the king rode unto them, and bade them flee. Churls, and they afeared when they saw a knight, and fled. O Merlin, said Arthur, here hast thou been slain for all thy crafts, had I not been. Nay, said Merlin, not so, for I could save myself as I would, and thou art more near thy death than I am, for thou goest to the deathward, and God be not thy friend. So as they went thus talking, they came to the fountain, and the rich pavilion there values. Then King Arthur was there, where sat a knight armed. A chair, Sir Knight, said Arthur, for what cause biddest thou here? And there may no knight ride this way, but if he joust with thee, said the king, I rede thee leave that custom, said Arthur. This custom, said the knight, have I used, and I will use my career. Who saith nay, and who is grieved with my custom, let him amend it, that will. I will amend it, said Arthur. I shall defend thee, said the knight, and on he took his horse and dressed his shield, and took a spear, and they met so hard either on other's shields, that all to shivered their spears. Therewith anon Arthur pulled out his sword, nay, not so, said the knight, it is fairer, and the knight, that we twain run more together with sharp spears. I will well, said Arthur, and I had many more spears I have now, said the knight. So there came a squire and brought 2 good spears, and Arthur chose one and another. So they spurred on their horses, and came together with all their might, that either wrecked their spears to their hands. Then Arthur set on hand on his sword, Nay, said knight, ye shall do better. You are a passing good jouster, as ever I met withal. And once for the love of the high order of knights, let us joust once again. I sent me, said Arthur, and on there were brought 2 great spears, and every knight against a spear therewith they ran together, that Arthur's spear all to shivered. But the other knight had hit him so hard in the midst of the shield, that the horse and man fell to earth. And therewith Arthur was eager, and pulled out his sword, and said, I will stay thee, Sir Knight, on foot, for I have lost honor on horseback, and will be on horseback, said the knight. Then was Arthur wroth. He dressed his shield toward him with his sword drawn. When the knight saw that he had alighted, for him not no worship to have a knight at such a vale, he be on horseback, and he on foot. And so he alighted and dressed his shield unto Arthur. And there began a strong battle with many great strokes, and so hewed with their swords that the cantels flew in the fields, and fought was overbled with blood. Thus they fought long and rested them, and then they went to the battle again, and so hurtled together like 2 rams that either fell to the earth. So at the last they smote together, that both their swords met even together. But the sword of the knight smote King Arthur's sword in 2 pieces, wherefore he was heavy. Then said the knight unto Arthur, Thou art my daughter, whether me list to save thee or slay thee, but thou yield be as overcome and recreant, thou shalt die as for death. Said King Arthur, Welcome be it when it cometh, but to yield me unto thee as a recreant I had life or die. Then to be so shamed, and therewithal the king left him to Pellinore, and took him by the middle, and threw him down, and raced off his helm. When the knight felt that he was adread, for he was a passing big man of might, and anon he brought Arthur under him, and raced off his helm, and would have smitten off his head. Chapter 24. How Merlin saved Arthur's life, and threw an enchantment on King Pellinore, and made him to sleep. Therewithal came Merlin, and said, Knight, hold thy hand, for an thou slay that knight, thou puttest this realm in the greatest damage. That ever was realm for this knight is a man of more worship than thou wotest of. Why, who is he? Said the knight. It is King Arthur. Then would he have slain him for a dread of his wrath, and heaved up his sword, and therewith Merlin cast an enchantment to the knight, that he fell to the earth in a great sleep. Then Merlin took up King Arthur, and rode forth on the knight's horse. Alas, said Arthur, what hast thou done, O Merlin? Hast thou slain this good knight by thy crafts? There liveth not so worshipful a knight as he was. I had liefer than the stings of my land the year that he lived. Care ye not, said Merlin, for he is wholer than ye. For he is but asleep, and will wake within 3 hours. I told you, said Merlin, that a knight he was here had he been slain, had I not been. Also there liveth not a bigger knight than he is one, and he shall hereafter do you right good service, and his name is Pellinore, and he shall have 2 sons, and shall be passing good men, save one, and they shall have no fellow of prowess and of good living, and their names shall be Perceval of Wales, and Lameric of Wales, and he shall tell you the name of your own son, begotten of your sister, that shall be the destruction of this realm. Chapter 25. How Arthur by the means of Merlin gat Excalibur, his sword of the Lady of the Lake. Right. So the king and he departed, and went unto a hermit that was a good man, and a great leech. So the hermit searched all his wounds, and gave him good sales. So the king was there 3 days, and then were his wounds well amended, that he might ride and go. And so departed, and as they rode, Arthur said, I have no sword, no horse. Said Merlin, Hereby is a sword, that shall be yours, as I may. They rode till they came to a lake, the which was a fair water and broad. In the midst of the lake Arthur was ware of an arm of cloth and white as a knight, that held a fair sword in that hand. Lo, said Merlin, Yonder that sword that I spake of, with that they saw the damosel going upon the lake. The damosel is that, said Arthur, that is the lady of